Please welcome Margaret Atwood.
I'm very honored to be here with you today at this conference called Challengingly Embrace Ambition. I say challengingly because being ambitious has always been a mixed bag. We like to think ambition means desiring excellence and pursuing success, but Julius Caesar was killed for being too ambitious, wanting power for its own sake. And women have for a long time been afraid both of too much ambition and of too much success, feeling rightly in the past that they would be criticized and even attacked and shamed if they rose too far above their place as a woman. Men don't have to choose between being successful and being a man. On the contrary, but women were and still are expected to make such choices. When I published my first novel in 1969, I was being asked questions by male reporters such as, "Do men like you?" Answer, "Which men?" And ask them, not me. And how do you find the time to do the housework? Answer, look under the sofa. If you want to be a woman writer, develop a healthy relationship with dust bunnies. They can do their thing, you can do yours. There's a new website by a noteworthy female entrepreneur, Sarah Lacey, called Chairman Mom, dedicated to working mothers. It seems that 75% of these are still being mom-shamed for having both children and a career. Chairman Mom hopes to end that. Good luck, Chairman Mom. There is nothing more entrepreneurial than writing. You take nothing, words, air, and make it into something. Luckily for women, the upfront costs aren't great. The light bulb, the keyboard, the cheese sandwiches, the coffee, these are not major infrastructure expenses. Basically, you are investing in yourself and your talent. But now to The Handmaid's Tale, which in its acclaimed TV series incarnation is just launching season 2. Even more nail-biting than season 1. I began writing this book in 1984 after throwing out a hot mess of a novel that I had been laboring over while living in an English rectory haunted by 13th century nuns. Maybe something about the nuns inspired me, considering the outfits in the book. I'd been putting off The Handmaid's Tale. It seemed like such a far-fetched idea and likely to get me in trouble. Some people wouldn't love it. But I had already published a number of books by then, and it was clear to me that there is no such thing as a book that everyone loves, people being as various as they are. If you want to be a writer, get a thick skin. But despite my misgivings, The Handmaid's Tale was clamoring to be written, so I plunged in using a rented German typewriter, since I was now living in West Berlin with the Cold War going on all around me. That too was inspirational. I finished the book in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, a year later. Inspirational too, in its own way. How long did it take you to write The Handmaid's Tale, I am sometimes asked. It may look like only a year, but the real answer is 4,000 years, because that's how much of women's history I was drawing on, and that's how many generations of storytellers stood behind me. In whatever field you are working, you are always the inheritor of knowledge and skills developed by others. The Handmaid's Tale is called a tale because it is told orally by the narrator, not written. but it is also called a tale in tribute to that form we sometimes call the folk tale and sometimes the fairy tale. Those ancient stories describe adventurers in dark places, and so does the Handmaid's own story. These tales were also called old wives' tales because it was said to be older women who preserved them and passed them on from mouth to ear to mouth, as the handmaids pass on their own secret stories within the novel from mouth to ear to mouth. To the anonymous female tale-tellers of the past, I owe a great debt, one that is not yet fully paid. I thank them, and I also thank you for listening.